Hello again and welcome to another session of Commerce class with me Suman Rathore. Friends, there are 5 ways of organizing a private sector enterprise, and these are: first, sole proprietorship; second, partnership; third, joint stock company; fourth, cooperative societies; and fifth is joint Hindu family business. Now, when a person decides to go in business, he has all these options to choose from. But before going further on this topic, let's just have a quick idea of what they are. Now, suppose a person wants to start a business enterprise on a very small scale with limited investment, but he wants to have personal contact with the people he serves, then he might go for sole proprietorship. Now, as the name suggests, sole means single and proprietor means owner. So he manages or runs the business enterprise on his own. Now, what if he falls short of money or skill in running the business enterprise successfully? Then he might overcome this situation by including someone as his partner in the business. And in that case, that sole proprietorship firm will get converted into a partnership firm. Now, when the partnership firm grows and the expansion goes beyond the capacity and resources of those few people, then in that case, they may invite general public to subscribe to their capital and resources. And in that case, that partnership firm will get converted into a joint stock company, because now it has invited general public to subscribe to its share capital and to its resources. Or sometimes what happens that some like-minded people who have some common interest to protect and promote, they come together to start a business enterprise, and that is called a cooperative society. And cooperative societies run on the principle of each for all and all for each. And then there is one more kind of business sector enterprise, which is called joint Hindu family business. As the name suggests, joint family business. So it is carried on by the members of a family, and the senior most member of the family will manage and run the business enterprise on behalf of all the members of the family. So, all the forms of business enterprises that I have explained just now are the forms of managing private sector enterprise. And there are several factors which are considered while making a choice, like which form of business enterprise should we go for. Like, first is nature of business. The nature of some types of business is such that direct contact with customers is essential. For example, retailers, doctors, tailors have very close contact with their customers, and therefore they are organized as sole proprietorship firms. Whereas business activities where pooling of skills and funds is required, as in case of wholesale trade, accounting firms, tax consultants, etc., are better organized as partnership firms, and big manufacturing organizations are better organized as joint stock companies. Second is size and area of operations. Small firms where area of operation is very limited and risk and liability are not heavy can be organized as sole proprietorship firm. Managerial problems of such organizations are easily handled by the owner himself, whereas medium-sized firms which require pooling of capital and expertise are better organized as partnership firms, like in case of health clinic, chartered accountant firms, etc. And large-scale enterprises catering to national and international markets can be organized more successfully as public or private companies, like in case of 5-star hotels, engineering firms, etc. Third is degree of control. If the entrepreneur wants to retain full control over business activities and decision making, then he can go for sole proprietorship, like in case of painters, decorators, etc. On the contrary, if the owner doesn't mind sharing control with others, then he can go for partnership, like in case of security agencies or big restaurants, etc. But in cases where owner is not interested in direct personal control and management but is interested in large-scale operations, then it would be desirable to adopt company form of ownership. Fourth is capital requirement. Persons having limited amount of finance would prefer to set up sole trade business. For example, repair shop, hairdresser, etc. But when the expansion goes beyond the capability and skill of single owner, then the firm has to be converted into partnership firm, like in case of brand dealerships. And enterprises which require heavy investment, like in case of construction business, joint stock company is most desirable. Fifth is managerial requirements. Small businesses using simple processes of production and distribution can be managed effectively as sole proprietorships. For example, workshops, tailors, etc. Whereas businesses which require different skills, like in case of stock trading firm, are better organized as partnerships. On the other hand, giant enterprises involving the use of complex techniques and procedures require professional management. Such enterprises can be managed efficiently only as joint stock companies. Sixth is risk and liability. People who have large financial resources and unwilling to share their profits but can take the risk of unlimited liability will go for sole proprietorship or partnership form of business organizations. Whereas people who wants to have a smooth sail with limited liability and diffusion of risk will go for company form of business enterprise. And seventh is continuity and stability. When it comes to continuity and stability of business, some seasonal businesses or sole proprietorship or partnership firms have temporary nature as they get affected by the death, lunacy, insolvency, etc. of the owner. But joint stock companies are more permanent in nature as they have separate existence from the people who own them and perpetual succession, which means that the company will continue to exist even if all the members die. Well, this is a very important characteristic of company and we'll discuss this in detail in our coming videos. Apart from all these factors that we have discussed today, there are several other factors which are needed to be considered, like formation formalities, willingness to share the profit, secrecy of affairs, etc. But the nature and the size of the business enterprise is the basic factor, and all the other factors are dependent on it. And the interrelationship between all these factors should also be considered before taking the decision. That's all for today. Thanks for staying in tune, and don't forget to like and subscribe my channel. Thank you and goodbye for now.